I am a 16-year-old Fortnite nerd with years of experience improving at Fortnite myself and helping others improve too. And today I'm breaking down training processes, optimization techniques and secret methods that I use to teach myself how to edit faster than most tier 1 pros. This video covers every aspect of editing mastery, from the precise settings tweaks and keybinds to the psychology elements that separate slow editors from the fast editors. Whether you're training to play Cash Cups or FNCS, or just trying to improve or look flashy, these proven techniques will transform your editing mechanics. To start, I want to go over your settings. This section is for both console and PC players, so below in the fast forward thing, I will leave a time-stamped section that will say either console or keyboard, so you can skip forward to the one you need and you don't have to watch both sections. Starting off with consoles, because I know there are a lot of console players that struggle with delay, so we will try and optimize your settings as much as possible to get the best delay as possible. The first thing you console players want to do, although it can be annoying, is play with your controller plugged in to your Xbox or PS5 or wherever you play on. This will reduce input delay because when you make an action on your controller, the signal has less distance to travel and is already connected through a wire. Next up, you want to play on a monitor, preferably a monitor with at least 120 Hz. If you're playing on a 4K 40-inch 60 Hz TV, then you're obviously going to get so much input delay. And for last tips, these will be in your actual game settings. And the first one is to turn off motion blur. Motion blur is just unnecessary and can cause a lot of delay. And for the second one is to turn off all replays. Turning both of these off can really help your input delay. The first thing you PC players want to do is change your in-game settings. I'm not going to cover the obvious ones like having performance mode on, but I do want to make sure you have your replays and power saving settings turned off. Also, make sure your audio quality is set to low. Next, we will go through your NVIDIA settings. All I want you to do is copy these settings and make sure your game is in native resolution, which will be 1920 by 1080, and also make sure you're on the max hertz possible for your monitor. Lastly, I want you to change two settings with your actual PC, and the first one is turning game mode on. This basically stops anything else running in the background that is unnecessary, and this can boost your FPS and reduce your input delay massively. The second one is going to graphics and making sure Fortnite is on high performance mode. This is quite self-explanatory. For the next section, we're going to go over your keybinds or your controls. Once again, this will have two sections, one for controller and one for keyboard. So skip to the part you need. Right, for controller players, your binds are much harder to choose than keyboard players, as you're most likely very limited to a small amount of buttons. But the first advice I would give you is looking into a controller with paddles, because having these will completely change the way you play forever. But if you can't afford paddles or just don't want to spend your money on Fortnite, then these are some good binds for you to use. Switch your jump and crouch. Jump as right stick and crouch as X. Bind your switch mode to left stick and have your edit button on the touchpad if you're using a PS controller. To use the touchpad, you want to press it with your index finger, and please make sure you're using Builder Pro. I can't believe there are still people using Combat Pro in 2025. Lastly, make your R1 select and your L2 confirm and your R2 reset. Also, make sure to have edit on release on both when you're on controller. For the keyboard players, I want to say that I have changed my binds so many times, thinking I will change it and instantly become amazing, but this never happened. I only got good when I stuck to one set of binds, even if they wasn't optimal. Look at Peterbot, the fastest mechanical pro right now, and his binds are atrocious. Anyway, I believe the binds I settled on are very good binds for the majority of players in the world, so I'm gonna scroll through them slowly and you can copy them and stick to them for at least a week. Also with double movement, I personally have it turned off, but if you want it turned on, the best settings for it right now are 70, 90 and 135. Also, if you're wondering what I use to pull out my shotgun, I use the middle mouse button. Advanced editing methods focus on minimizing the timing between each action in your edit sequence. The fundamental goal is reducing the delay between pressing edit, selecting tiles and confirming. Let's break down the core mechanics of speed optimization. The most common mistake players make is attempting to select multiple tiles. While it might feel better, it actually increases your margin for error and slows down your overall speed. Instead, start off by focusing on mastering single tile edits. These cause you to be more consistent and allow for faster edits as you're not spending time selecting more tiles. This is mostly for floor and cone edits and is also for like beginners. Your bind press should be fast and deliberate. Your crosshair placement must be precise. You want to practice positioning it exactly where the edit selection needs to be before pressing your key. This pre-positioning eliminates unnecessary mouse movement and reduces selection time. And lastly, learn to release at the fastest point possible. Using Raiders Mechanics Map V5 can help as it has specific drills designed to build this muscle memory. Begin with the basic edit courses, but focus on your timing on each piece rather than just spamming and trying to get through it as fast as possible. Your goal should be consistent timing rather than occasional fast edits. The piece control section of Raiders map allows you to practice these optimized edits in more realistic scenarios and also adds an enemy into the mix too. Advanced players often struggle with confirming their edits too early, leading to missed edits in crucial moments. Develop a rhythm for your edit sequence. Edit, select, confirm should flow like a single motion. Practice this rhythm until it becomes automatic, allowing you to focus on opponent prediction and piece control rather than the mechanical aspect of your editor. A pretty much ancient way to practice this edit timing that I haven't heard mentioned in a while is by changing your binds in a way that kicks you out of the edit shortly after pressing the edit key, which then forces you to learn the timing. To do this, bind your normal key to the second slot of your select building edit. The purpose of this is to force you into learning the timing. However, this only works for edit on release. The psychological aspect of editing is often overlooked, but it's very important. Let's start with the most common issue, choking edits during intense fights. Every player has experienced that moment where the mechanics fall apart in crucial situations. The key to overcoming this isn't just more practice, it's the right kind of practice. When you're training, you need to deliberately create pressure situations. Start by recording yourself and analyzing every missed edit. You'll notice that speed isn't usually the problem, it's rushing through the sequences without proper focus. The map I recommend is the 2v1 map by Martoz, as because it's a 2v1, you'll feel a lot of pressure and over time we'll start to get used to that pressure. When you feel your edits becoming inconsistent, intentionally slow down your edits to about 70% of your maximum. During this intentional slowdown, focus on 3 specific elements: your crosshair placement before the edit, your tile selection and accuracy, also your confirming timing. Each edit should feel deliberate and controlled. The science behind this method is rooted into the muscle memory recalibration. When you're editing at full speed for extended periods, especially under pressure, your timing can gradually drift off its optimal pattern. This drift might be barely noticeable at first, maybe a slight delayed confirmation here and there, but it compounds quickly into missed edits and fouled piece control. By temporarily slowing down, you're giving your brain a chance to re-establish its baseline timing patterns. Think of it like resetting your internal metronome. During these 2 or 3 minutes, each edit should have a clear, distinct rhythm. Edit, select, confirm. The timing between these actions should be fast, consistent, and controlled. What makes this method particularly effective is that you're not just slowing down randomly, you're actively focusing on precision. Watch your crosshair movement, feel the timing of your keystrokes, and pay attention to the sounds of your inputs. This heightened awareness helps you reinforce the correct patterns in your muscle memory. Once you've completed about 2 to 3 minutes of these slower deliberate edits, gradually increase your speed back to normal. You'll notice your edits feel cleaner and more consistent, almost like you've recalibrated your internal timing. This technique is especially valuable during long tournament sessions where maintaining mechanical consistency is very crucial for performance. Also, I'm not really sure if this counts as being psychological, but I feel this fits into this section, and it's playing with headphones off. This is so you can hear the key presses of the sequences and how they should sound. To make sure you understand, I'm going to explain it a little bit more. Having your headphones off whilst you're editing allows you to hear how the keys should sound when the edit is completed properly. For example, with your headphones off, do some triple edit and you'll hear a very similar pattern with every single triple edit, and this will then allow you to learn your muscle memory through playing with your headphones off. Lastly, for the psychology section, and this advice is for everything you do when practicing in anything, not just editing and not just Fortnite, this is having concentrated practice. This is a bit hard to explain, but basically it's just really wanting to learn and really wanting to improve to the point where everything you do has a particular purpose and is very deliberate in a specific weakness or category. To start with competitive implementation, let's talk about how advanced editing speed translates into competitive advantages, specifically in tournament scenarios. Fast, consistent editing creates multiple competitive advantages, one of them being in mid-game fights. Having fast editing speed allows you to control the pace of engagements. When you can edit faster than your opponent can react, you can dictate when and where the damage exchange happens. This is especially crucial when you need to end fights quickly to avoid third parties or zone pressure. This ability to execute quick edit plays means you can finish fights efficiently and minimize your vulnerability to third party interference. Even in end games, fast editing becomes absolutely crucial during moving zones. The ability to quickly edit through layers while rotating is essential for survival. When you're navigating through built up areas in moving zones, clean, fast edits allow you to move more efficiently without getting stuck or taking storm damage. This is where the combination of speed and consistency really shows its value. Also, the psychological impact of fast editing on your opponent can't be underestimated in competitive play. When you demonstrate quick, confident and fast editing early in a fight, it often causes opponents to play more defensively, giving you control of engagement. This is why Peterbot is so dominant. But remember, in Fortnite, it's better to be consistent and avoid mistakes in every aspect. So if you really want to get good at Fortnite and go pro, and I'm assuming you do because you watched this far into the video, make sure you watch the video on screen now where I go through the 9 biggest mistakes you're making without even realizing it, and it's ruining your game.